Okay, so this week we're going to continue to review our digraphs from last week. We had CH, ch, SH, sh, TH, which says th, and th when we turn our voice on. We're still talking about the letter blend NG, ng, and QU, qua. And then this week we've added in a new digraph, CK, which says k. And we talk about how that k sound, most popular way to spell with the k sound is the C. And then of course it's K. But at the end of a word, when we hear k, it's CK. There are some exceptions to that, but what they're learning right now, that will be consistently k at the end will be CK. So review those at home when you see those in reading, when you read with your child, whether it's in their AR book or a book you have at home, or maybe something we've sent home. Review those sounds with them so that they just get more and more used to them. They have a real hard time with the ch, sh, th sounds. They're so similar. So just doing those and doing the motions with them so that they can remember what those are. You know, SH can go on forever and CH stops. So review those with them. We're going to introduce double consonants this week. So BB, LL, SS, MM, FF, GG. So those consonants that we double because of the short vowel. And then typically we're adding on to the end of it. And we only say one of them. So we talked about how we cross one out because we only say one of the letters. We don't say d when we see two Ds. I'm going to send home a list of our tricky words. Going over those just once every night, it takes about 30 seconds to read through them all, will really help with their fluency. And that makes a big difference in their reading. When they don't have to stop at words that they can't sound out and they can't figure out, when they just know them, they're much more confident readers. So those tricky words are super important. We go through them every day. Here in class, we go through them first thing in the morning before we start our phonics and grammar lesson. And so if you just want to do those at home, that would be great for them. And I read it with them. So read the word with them and have them read it along with you. If they seem to stumble, stop, go back, do it again. Do it 2 or 3 times. And that just helps, again, build their fluency and increase their reading confidence, because for them, so much of their reading skill right now is going to be based on confidence. Do I trust what I know? And a lot of them feel like, oh, I can't read. They can absolutely read. Every single one of these students can absolutely read. And it's so fun because we've got to introduce our readers this week. And they love these. These are super fun. They have great, fun little pictures in them. It's really exciting. And we call it a chapter book because we read a short story in it every day, but the stories go together and they're chronological, and the two main characters in it are consistent throughout. So it really is a chapter book, and that kind of boosts their reading confidence as well. Like, hey, you guys are reading a chapter book. So the things you can do at home with that is that you may see some papers come home, things for you to do at home with them, or just things that we did in class that you can ask them about our story. So each day they'll have some kind of a comprehension task and a writing task to go along with the story. Again, helps with that comprehension, helps with the fluency, and they really have a lot of fun with these. And hopefully you've already heard about some of them, but if not, ask them about Beth and Nat. Those are our characters this week. We are working on short vowels. We started short vowels last week, so A, E, I, O, and U, their sounds a, I, U. So they should know those. They should be able to identify those in words and sound out CVC words like p, at. They should also be able to segment and split up and blend words such as past. So if we add an S to pat, past, past. They should be able to do those things as well. So when they're reading, it helps. How I do it in class is if we came up with the word past, we'd go past, past. So they can do that. Some of them like to chop it up on their arm, or they'll chop it up like this. However they want to do that, that helps them sound out those words. And we want them doing it quickly. We don't want to go because by the time they get to the t sound, they forgot what the first sound was, and now we're starting all over. So you sound it out with them, get them into the habit of sounding out quickly, because again, that helps with their reading fluency. Past. They all know all their letter sounds. So I promise your child knows their letter sounds, and they are totally capable of doing this. Do not let them trick you into thinking that they can't do those things, because they do them all day long here with me. All right, so practice those tricky words. Talk about nouns. We talk about how they are a person, place, thing, or animal. They have little motions for that, so ask them about those. And Review those with them when you do their readings. When you look over their homework, you may see some noun work. Talk about those. So far we've really focused on a noun as a person or a thing. So those are the two main ones we've talked about. Thing kind of gets them sometimes. It's hard to distinguish between sometimes what a thing is and what a verb is. So look at those things, talk about those parts of speech. We're really driving home sentence structure and how to kind of begin paragraph writing. They don't know they're doing that yet, but technically that's what they're doing. They're learning to write and respond with more than one sentence. And we want really good in a sentence. It's not like, it was Nat. Nat was the one that found Bud. That kind of a thing. So those are the kind of things we're enforcing here in class. We want our sentences to start with a capital letter and they end with punctuation. And I like using that word punctuation because it's a big word, but they need to understand it. And not all the time does a sentence end with a period because it just ends with punctuation. So if we say a sentence starts with a capital letter, ends with a period, we're being misleading. And especially since this week we're going to introduce the question mark. So we want to talk about what the question mark looks like when we use it. We use it when we're asking a question, and our voice sounds different when we read it. So instead of, does Nat have the fish? We would say, does Nat have the fish? And really exaggerate those things in your reading with them. And when they ask questions, when you ask questions, ask them those things. Or if they ask a question, be like, ooh, did that sentence end in a question mark or a period? Just those tiny little things you can sneak in throughout the day really help with their comprehension and, again, with their fluency. In math, we're still talking about, we're doing adding. We're going to start subtracting. So we've really hit hard with adding and finding a missing number if we have an addition equation, or a number sentence is what we call it. So we talk about the missing letters. We talk about how with adding we can write our number sentence two ways. We can write 4 plus 3 equals 7, or we can write 3 plus 4 equals 7. So we'll learn this week with our subtraction that we can't do that. So watch for those things to come home. Adding and subtraction is really easy to do when you're in the grocery store, when you're at home, when they're playing with toys, when they're playing with Legos, when you're cooking. Those are great times to sneak in some math without them really knowing they're doing it. And it gives them a chance to show you their math skills because they are killing it in math this year. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. If there's questions about some of the things I send home, I am going to start sending home homework this week, and it will count. So they have charts in here that I've created, and they get a sticker on their chart, and when they fill their chart up, they get a special prize from their prize jars. So work on that homework, send it back to me so I can give them credit for it. And again, those things at home just help reinforce it just a little bit. It's nothing big. It's usually, sometimes it's an activity that you can do together, maybe comprehension questions from our story for the day. It may be a fun little math worksheet. So just if you can have them do those things and send them back in their folder, they'll get a star for each one that they do. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.